Welcome to episode 311 of the Overlook Hour. I'm your host, Clark Little. Along with me, as always, is the man sitting across the table from me, rimmed with excitement, because it is the episode of his favorite band. It's Russell John the Fisherman.
I hate 311.
Why?
I had a neighbor
They rock,
who
dude.
loved them, and he had a 311 shirt. But so other than 311, he loved Gray Aliens, and he had he would rock.
I feel like that goes hand in hand.
He would, dude. He had a 311 shirt that was just a gray alien head, and he wore it all the time. Actually, he was kind of Cobra adjacent, but he also rocked a haircut that we would call the spullet, because it was a spiked hair look, 2 years prior.
Yeah.
But he just kept growing it out. So the hair in the back, he couldn't spike it up. So he had like
But the top was spiked.
Yeah, like 2 inches high.
Like spiky spike.
Yep. And then he had Theo Von in the back. It was embarrassing to walk around with him. He also wore raver pants too.
What are raver pants?
Like bell bottoms, but much bigger. You don't remember those?
Like Jinko jeans.
Yeah, Jinko Gino.
Jinko Gino.
Yeah. And he was also one of those dudes that would wear like a Deftones shirt, and he'd be like, "Hey, what's your favorite Deftones song?" He'd be like, "I don't know." You're like, dude. Yeah.
Well, we have some. There we go. That was Randy Michael Stat, who I was about to throw to see what their favorite Deftones song was.
Oh my God.
It's a pretty hack choice, but yeah, Change in the House of Flies is a great track.
Now you got to go earlier than that, when they were kind of like a metal band, new metal band.
What are they
That's
now?
what I'm saying. I'm hack.
There's like post rock, very like melodic. I don't know. I don't dig it.
I don't like the vocals.
After their bassist died, I was out. He's the one that died, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Charlie Scott?
I forget his name.
Randy Michael, how are things going on in Atlanta, Georgia today?
It's going all right. Instead of Hotlanta, we're looking at Cold Atlanta this morning, as it is. It's 2 p.m. here, and it's only 34 degrees.
Whoa.
We had a little bit of snow, apparently. But yeah, this morning it was like 25, I think, when I went outside this morning, and it said feels like 18 or something, so it's a little chilly.
Dude,
Hakeem Olajuwon down there.
You're living the California nightmare weather.
Dude, I'm liking it. I'm liking wearing layers and throwing on a couple sweaters and a thermal, and just walking in 20-degree weather to go get coffee.
Sounds awful. Wearing an ascot, a backwards hat, like yeah, you look great, Randy.
Thanks. Amber is the color of my energy, so that's probably why.
Also joining us is Oksana Valerian of Osachi.
Randy just named the only 311 song I think I've ever heard in my life. Was that a 311?
No, that was Deftones.
What? No, it's 311.
It was 311?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
What did you listen to in that era?
Neither one of those.
I remember. It's ska.
I went through a brief ska phase, but I need to be very specific here. Are we ready? It gets worse. Christian ska.
Oh, that's better.
So it was Orange County Supertones, Five Iron Frenzy.
Orange County?
The Orange County Supertones.
Were they from L.A.?
Well, Orange County's south of L.A.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's close
I don't
enough.
believe they're Christian, but I think the Mighty Bosstones just broke up.
Yeah, didn't get into that. Didn't get into Real Big Fish.
311's still touring.
Oh my God.
Now, I will tell you, I was more into Finger 11 than 311. Do you remember them?
I do.
Yeah. They had that one song, One Thing. If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing.
Did they have like a rim shot in that? It feels like one of those like hippie bonfire songs. Like,
It was a hippie bonfire song.
yeah.
I remember when I was a senior in high school, I was the PA announcer for the baseball games. And I also played music in between.
Really?
I played that song.
Oh my.
Woo! People did not enjoy.
Did you get like complaints when you would play?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Also, I remember there was. You remember the Alfie remake with Jude Law?
Alfie?
They remade. Alfie was a film with Michael Caine in the 60s.
No
and
idea.
they remade it in 2003 with Jude Law. And Mick Jagger released a song that was a single on that soundtrack, and I thought it was the coolest song ever. I also played that song. Oh, people did not enjoy that. As I said, all right, I'll just keep playing CCR.
Man, you said Alfie, and I thought A Christmas Story, and then I thought Alf. And I was like, which of those would they have remade?
No, Alfie, it's the story of like a playboy. He was like a chauffeur, and he fucked a lot of ladies.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
How's his Cockney accent?
Whoa.
Well, his cock was fine. His knee, couldn't tell you. Seemed pretty flexible.
Accent?
British.
Nope. So superior.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. How y'all feeling post Lookies 6th annual?
Great.
So good.
Y'all are so low energy. What are you
Better
still
than
hungover?
ever.
You're all hungover from the post party, I'm sure.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Charlie flew around naked.
I saw Clark. He was smoking toad venom.
Yeah, Randy, you heard about this? You heard about this?
I've seen a headline. I haven't read any articles, but I don't know. I assume it's a psychedelic thing.
Yeah.
Russell, you know, you're a resident
know
drug
about it.
expert here.
It's recommended that you only do it 1 to 2 times ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's so life-changing.
Well, that seems like the perfect drug for me.
Yeah, it also it says that people claim that they feel like they've been rebirthed into a pure ocean, and that everything, like, you know, it's the same thing with psychedelics where you get to look at yourself from out of body.
Has anyone died from smoking?
I don't think so. Honestly, it sounds like a fucking Joshua Tree resort drug.
Well, it
right
sounds
now.
better than fentanyl.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the disparity right now. If you have money, you can smoke toad venom.
How
If
much
you
is
don't,
toad venom?
I don't know. But everything sounded like some bougie, lame ass trip to, like, you know, south of the border to go to some resort and hang out and get some
Get a
toad venom.
shaman.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I mean, so it's, I mean, I imagine like they've been doing this in areas where there are venomous toads. More
I
so
mean,
than
wasn't there
Yes.
a wasn't toad licking a thing that they like made fun of on Family Guy like 15 years ago too?
Yeah,
Isn't
I
it like
met-
the same thing?
Not
Oh
that
my
part, but I thought that you were supposed to lick them, not like squeeze out their.
No, but I imagine in indigenous countries where they've got, you know, venomous toads running around, like you use the resources of your land. So I imagine they've been smoking toads forever, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I saw you at the post party with your shaman, and you look like you're having a good time.
Let me tell you something. I think I would enjoy having a shaman. Just a shaman on the side.
Well, shaman and a guru are different. You're more of a guru guy.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, guru. No, because I think shamans are more, they seem more genuine to me.
Oh, for sure.
Gurus, they're out there fucking.
Did you ever see the movie Guru, or what was it?
The love
The
guru.
love guru.
Yeah, that looks like a movie you'd have a poster to.
Nah, see, gurus are, they're slimy, man. You know, it's like Bikram. I don't need Bikram going around there with his little, 3-inch dick fucking everything.
What?
What is your shaman for though? I feel like a shaman is there for a purpose. I think you're just talking about a life coach.
Or
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah, what does a shaman do? He guides.
Also, I have to shout out to.
It's like a life caddy.
Oh my god!
When I'm out there on the back nine of life, I need a life caddy, and he's going to tell me which clubs of truth to bring out of the bag.
He'll hand you the right cigarette to smoke.
I keep
Uh-oh.
flip flopping on whether I want what I want. I'm at a crossroads with that.
At like one road leads to absolution and you're done, or
I've never quite smoked an entire pack in a day.
goals, man.
I've come fairly close, but I don't know if that's something I need to do.
YOLO.
Yellow.
We'll bring that back. No, but I have a confession. While Randy was getting wasted with the ladies, and while you were smoking toad venom, and I don't know, Oxon, what were you doing in the post party? All right, good enough. And I was reading some Purge fan fiction sent to me by Chad Lott of Scary Thoughts. Chad, thank you. That was incredible. One of our favorite new directors, Dasha from Scary Thoughts and the director of
Why do you refuse to say her last name?
because I don't remember it and I don't want to slaughter it with Oksana sitting right
We
next
have
to
an
me.
Eastern Bloc translator.
I know. All right, Oksana.
Nekrasova.
There
Yeah,
we go.
I'm not even trying that.
Nekrasova, it's easy.
Also, Dash is a good name. It's identifiable. You don't need a last
it's
name. with
also
the name
close
of
to Necromancer.
Oh, God. Okay, Dasha Necromancer.
Yeah.
Dude, she did a Purge fan fiction that I promised I would send you, and I just realized I didn't. It's fantastic, and it's short. And it opens with her therapist recommending that she purges this year.
Now, is this done in a screenplay format?
No, it's on a blog.
Okay.
There were like a bunch of people who like submitted My Purge was what it was called.
Mm.
Hers is incredibly funny. I think you two, I actually think you and Randy would really like it. I read it out loud to Oksana. That's how short it is.
Okay.
It's funny.
It's great. I don't know. I didn't do anything else this week. You want to waste any more time?
I mean, we've been wasting time for 6 years now, baby.
Dude, did you all like the art I did, the photo shoot with David Lynch? Nobody commented on I finally designed an award for the lookies.
The bull?
Yeah, it's the Golden Minotaur, dude.
Yeah, a little too satanic.
No, it's at the middle of the labyrinth, dude. We're deep. We're the Overlook Hour. So we're going into the hedge maze, which really is the labyrinth of the nuclear family.
I'm going to have to consult with my shaman on this.
All right. In fact, do they have an app for that? Where they assign you a shaman somewhere in the country?
Find my shaman?
Yeah. What is the app that you abandoned? Better Health or something?
Better Help?
A Better Help.
Correct.
Better Mental Health.
Let me tell you something. My goal is to find better help than better help. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well,
there goes that sponsorship.
Yeah, they were knocking on the door right now. We had to turn them away.
You use promo code Randy with a hard R
Oh,
for your 15% off.
Also, and thank you to everybody who reached out after that episode. It was fun talking to people about it. I'm surprised people were like kind of shocked it was 2 hours long. Don't these episodes normally go 2 hours now? Like, are they like
I
an
feel
hour?
like they're longer usually.
Yeah, I feel like the lookies we did with. You remember we used to break up? I feel like we broke them up.
Yeah, we did with Keegan.
With Keegan and
Charlie.
No, what was the programmer in Los Angeles?
Oh, and Brett. He
yeah.
wasn't. I think he just came on for a regular episode. No, he didn't.
That was a lookies.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like that was. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 weeks long.
I think so. I think we did them both. Yeah. Brett is now with AGFA, and I think Keegan. Yeah, he got out of the film game smartly, as the film community out here in Bay Area is crumbling. But we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah. So I'm
gonna talk a little bit about it later too. All right, should we bring our guest in?
Let's do it.
All right. I know he's anxious to come in.
Good morning. It's January 29, 2022, and it's a Saturday. All aboard the fun work train for day one of weekend projects. And hopefully we'll be traveling through very interesting territories. And as I always say, don't forget the dining car where they're serving really great coffee.
Hell yeah.
With breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
What?
And the observation car.
Oh.
Should be some beautiful scenery out there. Everyone, have a great day.
Oh my God. Oh, as he walked through the door, he turned to dust.
I mean, I had always figured. I had always figured that David Lynch was a fan of recycling, but not to this level,
dude.
Where it's just recycled material every weekend.
I read on a forum that he started listening to the show and that he's very angry about your impersonation. So I think he's trying to punish us now.
Because he knows it's superior to him. And so now he's having an existential crisis.
All
Because he
right.
doesn't even know who he is anymore. Because I embody him more than he embodies himself. Randy, your thoughts?
No thoughts on that, but I did check in with David earlier this week, and he was thinking about the recording artist Jewel.
Okay, Randy. What, he had an extra one that he just gave you over the phone?
Yeah, we Skyped, and yeah, it had a very nice background. It looked like the sun was either setting or rising. I couldn't remember what time of day it was.
All right. And of course, for those who don't know, David Lynch, director of the video short Boat and Out Yonder. He very prolific, and we love him. Also, I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce a new segment. I know, Clark, you're going to be so excited for this. Are you ready?
What is this?
This segment is going to be called Our Mistakes. Because we've got a lot of them, and we need to
This is an
address.
ongoing thing.
We need to address them.
I think about this every week. I'm like, well, we need to talk about that.
All right. So first off, I want to answer a note I got. Episode 203 has audio problems. The
203?
the music is playing over us talking in the intro. Randy, explain.
God.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't fade the track out. The track's not that long though, so
Actually, I actually remember Clark being very upset about this. I want anybody who's now venturing into our back catalog, get ready. There's a lot of that. We do record. I mean, we're not live when, like, you're not hearing this live, but we do one shot. We do this we live to record.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's part of the charm.
We also live to record.
It's very true. Another mistake number 2. During the lookies, I gave a golden minotaur to Giussati, our East Bay cinematographer friend who has been busy at work working on the film fest. Now, I did have a conversation with him at one of our meetings where he claimed that our email address wasn't working. Well, of course, none of us believed him. And then we all checked it, and it hasn't been working. I've been literally asking. Go ahead. I'll pause so you can yell at the podcast. Okay. Now, man, I messed up there. We've been giving you an address. I think it's even in our every episode show notes that has not worked for who knows how long. So we have a new email address. Oksana, what is it?
overlookhour@gmail.com.
We don't even care, apparently. It's just Overlook Hour. Is it podcast? Is there a the or podcast in it?
No, I cut the fat.
All right, so it's just overlookhour@gmail.com.
Correct, yes.
Okay, from now on, when I need you to chime in, I'm talking to you, the audience, to help me and Clark get along so we can move past whether snow is CG or not. Overlook@gmail.com.
It's 100% CG.
It's real.
Overlook
You're
Hour.
insane.
They didn't pile up fake CG snow on the curb.
You,
It's fine. No,
the
honestly,
amount of dumb in your brain.
Here, honestly, I can't engage in this argument. It was settled by Giussati, and he got an award for it. So it's put to bed. You're right. It was CG. Lastly, the last mistake of our newest and probably reoccurring segment of mistakes. This is going to air on February 1st. And February is an important month to us. We do a film fest that's all about found footage. We might have talked about it on here before, called the Unnamed Footage Festival. And in February, we love to do a thing called Found Footage February. Well, in prep for this show, I talked about this 2 weeks ago, where I like to do the TBR report movie right before we record. Well, Tom sent me 2. So I was like, and honestly, I can't blame him because I didn't even have enough time to watch 1. So there's going to be no TBR this week in Found Footage February. Also, I haven't watched a found footage film that I can talk about on here, and I don't think anybody else is. So swing and a miss for Found Footage February. We'll make it up. I promise you. Did anybody else want to jump in with a mistake that we have?
So many.
I know you have a list in your pocket. Do you want to do that next week?
I mean, 95% of the things that come out of your mouth need to be fact checked.
That's true. That is true. And that's why we hired 2 producers, but
Yikes.
I know.
Yikes.
Well, you vetted them. That's your fault.
That's not true.
You put up the Craigslist ad.
That is not true. One, we needed out of absolute desperation, and he has been a saint to this show, and frankly has been, the book binding,
Mm-hmm.
and the other just showed up.
And one of them you fired.
Oh yeah,
Call back to over 200 episodes, over 300 episodes.
It was exactly 300 episodes ago today, because it was episode 11 where he had his meltdown.
Yeah, and if you want to hear that, you have to actually go on Podbean. I don't know why it doesn't share on every podcaster, but if you go to if you scroll through our catalog, it cuts off at some point.
And we know about the quality issues in episode 11, okay?
No, please. Now that we have a new email, hey, send all the complaints. I'll fucking read them. It'll be great.
I will not.
You never do. Anyway, that's our newest and best segment, Mistakes We've Made.
Yikes.
Starting the show was a mistake.
All right.
All right. Is it time for Randy Michael?
I think it is, unless you guys got something else.
No. Do you want me to list more mistakes? I could think of some.
No, I just I forgot that we didn't have a TBR report, so I wasn't.
Oh my God.
But a movie that I did watch is a movie that could be found on VOD now, called Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes.
Fuck yeah.
Directed by Junta Yamagachi. This is where Clark says, "Bless you."
God bless you.
I would have said Tamagotchi.
And this is a 70-minute movie that I just found out is completely shot on an iPhone. It's done pretty much in the style of like a one-shot, though you can kind of see where they make the cuts, but they hide them pretty well, I would say. But it is a very fun sci-fi comedy. Essentially, there is this dude who owns a cafe, and he lives above it in a little apartment or whatever. And he goes up after working one night, and he has a computer screen in his room. And then on the computer screen, he sees himself, and he starts having a conversation with himself, and he finds out that the monitor in his room is showing him what is happening in the future, but only 2 minutes in the future. So after that, he goes downstairs and then looks into the monitor that is in the cafe, and essentially does the exact same thing that he just saw himself do. And it definitely ups the ante towards maybe, 10, 15 minutes into the movie in a very interesting way. But yeah, it's I really, really dug this. It's very fun. You can tell that there's just like a lot of enthusiasm from like the crew and the cast. And it just felt like, they had a really cool idea that they felt that they could execute pretty well with an iPhone. And I think it's done super well. It is very funny for sure. Yeah, if you like good, it's almost like if Primer wasn't so self-serious and was actually funny and was Japanese.
That's all I ever wanted out of Primer.
Yeah. I like Primer, but yeah, this is like much more enjoyable than that movie. But yeah, it's like a pretty smart like sci-fi thing. They do a lot of fun stuff in it, and yeah, I think it's like a $5 rental on VOD platforms currently.
Love it. Now, did this director ever hit his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the reference.
Your boy, Primer guy, beat up.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you so much.
Who is Primer guy?
Shane Carruth.
Okay. I've never seen Primer.
He also did another movie.
Shane Carruth hit his wife. Ray Carruth killed his wife.
Oh.
Don't know who that is.
Because you weren't a fan of football in the mid-1990s, dude.
Nor am I now. Last thing, this movie, if you liked One Cut of the Dead, this movie feels very similar. It's just like, yeah, it's just got really fun filmmaking, and yeah, it's not too serious. Like One Cut of the Dead was a zombie picture, and I don't really give a shit about zombie movies, but super enjoyed seeing that one. And yeah, this one's kind of up the same alley.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about zombies either.
What
One
about
Cut of the Dead's
Samantha?
very fun though.
I
One Cut
have
of the Dead's great.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I bought a DVD with the great slipcover, and I have it on a pile of movies that I intend to watch, and who knows how long it will be there.
Do you prefer slipcovers or Slipknots?
I'd like a combination. I'd like a steel book of Slipknot. Oh, you know what? I actually do have a Slipknot slipcover with Officer Down. Beautiful
Yes, you-
Blu-ray.
yes, you do.
Yeah. Also reached out to the clown from Slipknot to be on the show because I really wanted to talk to him about that movie. Never got back.
You were one of 19 people
Yeah.
that saw that theatrically.
Oksana was one of the others.
Congrats.
I had a
guys.
great time. It was good.
Yeah, it made like $600 theatrically or something.
Dude, I've never felt like my money has like actually made an impact until I saw Officer Down at an empty Roxy theater.
Little or
Hell
big?
yeah.
It was big, I think, right? It was a big
It
theater.
was an empty big.
Yeah, I don't know. People fucking
Dang.
missed out. It was good too.
I've been meaning to watch that because I like that actor, Kim. What's his name?
Coats.
John
Kim
Noon.
Coates. I like Kim Coates. All right, Randy. Anything else, son?
Yeah, I watched a couple things at virtual Sundance this past week. The first one I'll mention is called Emily the Criminal, directed by John Patton Ford. Features starring Aubrey Plaza and Gina Gershon and some other people who I'm not familiar with. But yeah, this movie is kind of a movie about the gig economy and how kind of shitty it is, and how if you're a person with student debt and you potentially have a criminal past, it's very hard for you to get any sort of job besides like maybe delivering food for Uber Eats or whatever.
Been there.
It's a very, very good Aubrey Plaza role. I think between this and Black Bear, she's really doing sort of interesting roles. I know it's a good kind of like character study, and yeah, it's a good one. And I assume this one will probably get picked up if it's not picked up already.
Oh, I don't know. Audrey Plaza is such a mixed bag for me.
I thought she turned the tide with Child's Play for you.
I did. I liked her in it, but honestly, I'd rather see her direct a movie because I think she, as like a human, is really interesting. But like her roles, she's kind of like typecasted. The thing I liked about Child's Play was she was just kind of playing like a modern single mom, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But normally she's kind of like a snarky pretty girl, which is a role I like in movies, but I don't know, she gets kind of cast in like heady indie films who are confronting social dilemmas, and it's like I don't need that. I'd be interested, dude. Like, wouldn't you watch a movie she made?
Well, I feel like she's like I don't know. Is she like an incel queen?
Queen of incels, or is she an incel herself? And
The queen of the incels. I feel like
I don't know. I think that you have
They
to be a
love her.
Twitch streamer to do that. Because if you go on there, there's a lot of
or maybe not even incel. I mean, first of all, we overuse that word, but nerd culture. She's big in that world.
I don't know. I don't hear a lot of it. Honestly, I think what's her name? Hunger Games bitch. She's like
Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence, or Randy's girl, I think is like a nerd queen.
Olivia Munn.
Dated.
She's
out.
like actually a
Loves-
nerd though too, right?
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
not actually a nerd, but I
Well,
don't know.
she took a gig at the G4 network or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a different era. That was like you could only watch game communication on TV.
Yeah, but I think once she, was banging around Aaron Rodgers, that kind of took
Yeah,
away
it
the
kind
nerd
of.
thing.
No, I'm talking like Scarlett Joe. I think she's the like top nerd queen.
So Aubrey Plaza might have directed a TV movie called Fucked that has no information on
Oh,
IMDb.
really?
Would you
Huh.
watch your language?
It's on the internet. I mean,
Yeah, it's a TV movie. I was looking up there and I just saw a bunch of TV because she had directed two. I can't even read that monitor; it's too far away. But yeah, TV shows. I'd watch a TV movie. What network would air a movie called Fucked? It's got to be Lifetime, right?
Lifetime?
Is it Lifetime? Is that a
Definitely
network?
not Lifetime.
Adult Swim, maybe.
No. See, if it was Adult Swim, I'd be out. If it was Lifetime, I'd be in.
I don't even know if this really exists. It's like it's got nothing except for a year.
Oh shit! Let's make a faux doc about it.
And I don't know how to search for it.
Sounds like the O network.
Oh no, no, dude, that's the beginning of our faux doc. It's like, hey, we have a really lame conversation about Audrey Plaza, and then we look at her IMDb, and there's a movie she's credited as directing, but there's no trace of it.
Also, it's Aubrey.
It's Aubrey?
Yes.
What have you been saying?
Audrey.
No.
Oh my God.
Okay, there we go. As I said, we got to fact check every word
all
that
right.
comes out of your mouth.
You go ahead and take this one. We'll do mistakes round 2. Apologize for me. No,
Russell's an idiot. Randy,
No.
what else you seeing at Sundance, son?
The last one that I saw before the one that we will talk about later is the new Riley Stearns film called Duel
Oh, man.
with Karen Gillan and Aaron Paul. I really like this. I think it's probably my favorite thing that I saw out of the 4 that I saw. Yeah, it's kind of like a near future type of movie. It feels kind of Yorgos Lanthimos-y. In the way that people talk, and you kind of get a lot of this in his previous movie, The Art of Self-Defense. So
Yeah.
it definitely feels kind of like, it definitely feels like a Riley Stearns film, but it also kind of has a different vibe that feels a little bit more like a Yorgos. But essentially, this movie, Karen Gillan's character, Sarah, finds out that she is like terminally ill, and the doctor pretty much says like, hey, it's like a 99% chance that you're going to die. But in the future that this movie takes place, you can clone yourself so that the people that, you know, are going to lose you have something to be comforted with, and kind of like you can still live on. But if, say, the person who was the original one of these 2 people doesn't end up dying, then you have to fight to the death. So she ends up meeting up with Aaron Paul, who plays Trent, and Aaron Paul is her trainer. So this is where it really started to feel like The Art of Self-Defense, because like the whole, probably like second act of this movie is her kind of like training, and Aaron Paul is really, really good in it too. Yeah, I won't say too much more, but that's kind of like the main plot that sets up the story.
Is Aaron Paul your favorite Paul brother?
Definitely, yeah.
Isn't Karen Gillan like way taller than Aaron Paul?
Maybe.
I think
It's called
she's
forced perspective to make people look the same size.
a tall lady, and he's not a tall fella.
Is this a fear of yours?
No, I'm into it.
I figured you would be.
I like a tall lady.
I mean, if you're not, then you're kind of like fucked.
Okay, first of all,
I don't
watch your language. When I listen back to the Lookies, I curse too much. We curse too much. We need to clean it up.
All right.
It's a crutch.
I mean,
I'm
we're
pretty
still
clean.
Shut the fuck up.
Not your
Randy.
blood, though. Here's the thing: if we're still going to be under explicit, so who cares?
No, I'm trying to
That's
get
true.
that. I'm trying to get that. You know, that family money, dude.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to go Jim Gaffigan, dude?
Yeah, man. Friends and family. No, I'm trying to get that cocoa melon money. You don't know what cocoa melon is?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, in 37 years, when y'all finally decide to have a child, you're gonna know what cocoa melon is. Cocoa melon.
So why
is,
do you know?
Because I have a niece that is a small
Oh.
child.
I Googled it. It looks awful.
Oh my god, it is the worst thing in the world. It's horrible.
When I Googled cocoa melon, this is not what I expected.
I thought it was a lotion or something.
I did too.
Jeez.
I thought it was melon, like cantaloupe or something dipped in chocolate.
The for Christmas, I gave my niece a doll of one of the faces of Cocoa Melon, JJ.
From your collection?
Yes, for my personal collection of Cocoa Melon. That's how I'm able to bond with this 2-year-old.
You're like,
Is that we share a lot of the same, things. We like the same things, and I'm happy to have her in the Cocoa Melon family.
she's wearing a Swiss watch right now.
That's right.
What was that called?
My Tiso.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
There's a damn room joke in there. I just can't craft it.
No, Tommy Tiso is good. I like Tommy Tissot very much.
If you've got something better than Tommy Tissot, reach out to overlook@gmail.com.
Don't do it. It's not going to get better than
It's
that.
Overlook Hour.
Damn it.
God
There
damn
we
it.
go.
Should
Put
I
another
make it-
dollar in the
Should I
jar.
make a new one and just make it Overlook?
No.
I'm sure that's taken.
What is the name of our show?
It's the Overlook Hour podcast. I know because I do all the branding. That's why it's
Which is troubling. I saw 2 films. Well, I saw 3 films. We'll talk about the third later. Don't worry about it. Just rest easy. The first film I saw, and I watched both of these yesterday.
okay.
Now, since I was born, I have been a New Orleans Saints fan, and the New Orleans Saints mean a lot to me. I used to watch the games with my granddad on Sundays growing up, and growing up in the 1990s, the New Orleans Saints were terrible. In the early 90s with Ricky Johnson and all those boys, we had with the Dome Patrol defense, we had a very good defense, but we had a terrible offense, and we were just not good. And then for, my grandfather, he was a New Orleans Saints fan his entire life, going back even before the Archie Manning days. And, of course, Archie Manning I'll get past football talk here in a second, but I'm building a story, you understand.
Any
So-
relation to Eli?
Yes, he is Eli's father.
Got it.
No, that's good. So the New Orleans Saints mean a lot to me, currently, but also, it's deep in there. It's nostalgic to a certain extent, okay? And I mean, look, that's what sports is, right? Sports definitely, dips into that nostalgia. Russell, I know you're a recovering 49ers fan, but you certainly understand that aspect of it, right?
I think sports it exercises the human need for tribalism and warfare. And I get enough of that at home with you, so I don't watch football anymore.
That's fair. Also, I got to talk to you about Jeff Garcia.
Why?
He went a little crazy.
Would beat his wife?
No, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'm 100% on Jeff Garcia's side on this thing. The media. Ooh,
Well, I'm ready to start digging out my Niner gear because we're going to the Super Bowl. I feel it.
I don't know, man. I hate the Rams, and I really do not like the Niners. I just want the AFC to win. Doesn't
Well, then
matter.
I'll have to get rid of my $500 tickets that I got for us to fly out and go see the game.
So in 2010, the Saints won the Super Bowl. Finally, we did it. We won, and honestly, even when I look back on that day, it's one of the happier moments of my life because the Saints were so bad for so long. Sean Payton came in right after Katrina, cleaned up the franchise, and within a few years, we won the Super Bowl. A few years later, the Saints got put on probation, and the head coach, Sean Payton, was not allowed to coach for the Saints for one whole year because of something called Bounty Gate. And what that was essentially there was a system that the Saints had put into place, set forth by the defensive coordinator at that time, Greg Williams, that was basically a payment system that was structured based upon injury that you have inflicted on another team, another player of another team. So if you hurt someone, you got paid. And so you put a bounty on them. And so therefore they called it Bounty Gate because we have a very limited creativity in our journalistic system. And we always have to put gate at the end of everything. Thank you, Richard Nixon. So Sean Payton was not allowed to coach for the NFL for one whole year. So he went back home to Texas, where his ex-wife and children were, and he got involved in his son's junior varsity team, his 6th grade football team. And he was the offensive coordinator for that team. And Netflix, in their infinite wisdom, decided that they wanted to make a motion picture about this story and cast Kevin James as Sean Payton, who doesn't look like Sean Payton's neighbor. And I mean, I don't understand that at all. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. And because it offends me as a Saints fan, because it offends me as a person who not every kids movie has to be a rotten hunk of shit, which is what this is. There is no effort whatsoever. Yes, it's a Happy Madison production. I knew that going in.
No.
But my God, is it lazy? They just don't care. Oh, this thing, man almighty. Truly, truly terrible. It's just, to take that story, you could have done something out of this. I'm not saying make it a drama. If you want to keep it a kid's film, keep it a kid's film. But honestly, they don't focus on the kids at all. Like, you don't know any of the kids' names. We think about classic children's films that are based upon sports. There's some good ones, man. The Big Green, great movie. I hated soccer as a kid because I was taught that soccer is communism. However, The Big Green kind of changed my mind. I'm like, maybe soccer's pretty cool. The Sandlot, classic. Little Giants, get out of here. Little Big, these are fun kids movies. Sure, they're ridiculous, but they're good and they're centered around children. This is not centered around children. This is centered around Kevin James and Sean Payton, and essentially the way they paint this story is that he's never met his child because the child doesn't want to be anywhere near him. He's like, I don't know you. And then at the end, they're like, why don't you come and visit me in New Orleans? Dude, you've been in New Orleans for 5 years. He's never come? He's never met Drew Brees? What the fuck kind of father are you? This is horrible. This is a very, very strange and troubling movie that we need to stop it.
This is Home Team?
Home Team.
And it came out this year?
Came out yesterday.
What the fuck? Looking at it, looks like some early 2000s relic of like shit I would never watch.
So he inherits the worst team in the league, and he takes them to the championship. Guys, I don't even really want to get into like how ridiculous thing and like the opposing coach is just the worst caricature I've ever seen in my life. I will learn how to pronounce that word next week. Essentially, the thing how it ends up is that the other team, Rob Schneider shows up. Rob Schneider plays the husband of Kevin James' ex-wife. Kevin James' ex-wife is played by Adam Sandler's real wife. So all the Happy Madison team is in there. The guy from Bad Grandma, he plays a referee in one scene. By the way, he's looking rough. He is aged like a bag of milk, man.
Who is it? Who are they? What have they done?
The guy from Grandma's Boy, whatever that guy's name is. He shows up in every single Happy Madison movie. Also, I will say I was able to manage a couple laughs out of here, and that's from Gary Valentine.
Well, you love Kevin James.
Well, I love Kevin James. I will continue to love Kevin James. I'm not going to put this on the fault of Kevin James.
Is Adam Sandler's kid in this movie?
It's possible.
Brooke? Is that a?
I don't know.
Sonny Sandler.
Sonny Sandler. Yeah, I imagine it is his kid, because his wife is in the film. Gary Valentine. Gary Valentine is actually Kevin James' real brother. Gary Valentine shows up in every single Kevin James movie. I like Gary Valentine. Gary Valentine was he was in King of Queens.
Okay.
And he kind of was buddies with Patton Oswalt. They were roomies together, if you remember. Let's be very clear. The King of Queens is an excellent sitcom. It's one of the best situations.
I'm waiting for you to name the only actor I care about in this fucking movie.
Taylor Lautner.
There you go.
Is
He's a werewolf.
It honestly just seems like he just walked into the set one day and they were like, "Hey, you're kind of famous. You want to do this?"
Yeah.
Okay. He does nothing. His role is nothing.
Looks like he stopped working out too. I'm really disappointed, Taylor.
So they get and Rob Schneider plays a very, he plays a hippie yoga guy.
Oh God.
And he gives everybody what's he call them? Nutrient logs, energy logs or something. and it makes everybody throw up in the fourth quarter. They all throw up at the same time, and then everybody in the stands is throwing.
Dude, sounds like a great movie.
It becomes a symphony of throw up.
All right, that's
and they win the game because they
Stand By
threw
Me.
up everywhere. Yeah, it's just.
It sounds like Rob Schneider might be your shaman, dude.
The song they keep playing throughout is Fun. We Are Young by Fun. Remember that song from 15 years ago?
They got any
Yeah.
311?
Bring it back.
They got to bring some 311 in.
I
there.
mean, it's truly one of the laziest pieces of garbage I've ever seen in my life.
that's
And the
his
fact
brand.
that you want to take that and put that on the Saints, one of the roughest times of my life as a sports fan, and you want to bring this garbage to the table? Get out of here.
Now, here's the thing. So, what would you rate this out of 5?
0.
But why? Because it
Out of
offended
spite.
you. Okay. Now, I feel like you're dipping into my territory. Because of no technical fault, did this movie get a low rating?
Oh, there's technical fault all over the place. Again, I don't have. Okay, you want to? Let's talk about one thing.
Yeah.
Kevin James, Sean Payton goes and checks into a hotel. Now, of course, comedy ensues.
Bed bugs.
The guy running the hotel. Apparently, there's only one guy that works at this hotel, and he's an idiot. And there's like, oh, there's fun here because he's cracking hard-boiled eggs at his desk.
Oh,
Ha 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 ha! And then Kevin James stays at the presidential suite. But then, as we learn, there's an executive suite that's more important than the presidential suite. And Kevin James get there, and he's explaining, hey man, the jacuzzi won't turn off. It keeps bubbling all night. Drain the jacuzzi. At no point do they talk about taking the fucking water out of the jacuzzi. They just say, let me bring a fan up to counter the noise. And Kevin James is like, wouldn't that make noise? Yeah. And then cut to the next scene because we end on a great punchline. Truly, this is terrifying. If this is what our kids are growing up and thinking what sports is, we have no hope. Movies like this need to be stopped. I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I would defend him. And I never want to take money away from someone else. But this is destructive.
I think you're offended as a comedian, not a sports fan.
This is destructive. Something less destructive. Again, I was perusing HBO Go last night, and I came across something that I don't even know if this is really on my radar. You know, you have a radar, right? Then you have things on outside the perimeter of that radar where you're familiar with, but you never like, you know what? I don't know if I've ever had the active thought until last night that I should watch this movie. But I did. And I'm sort of proud of myself that I did pull the trigger because this is absolutely something that I would turn on for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes and turn it off immediately. I did not do that with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
You should have.
Now, are you not a fan of this?
Is this
Kenneth Branagh.
What year? What year did it come out?
1994.
No, I've never seen it. I only saw the biopic about Mary Shelley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Now, when did Bram Stoker's Dracula come out?
Producers?
I imagine it's
92.
around 90. Okay, so this came out 2 years after Coppola's. Now that's something I also have never seen because the trailer of that I remember the trailer of that movie. I'm pretty sure 92. Damn. When did Jurassic Park come out?
Oh my
92?
God.
Was Jurassic Park 92?
No, later. I think like 97, 95.
Jurassic Park was not 1997 or
All right.
1995. Jurassic Park was either 91 or 92. Maybe 93.
Lost World was 97. That's why.
Randy's a big Lost World fan.
What year was Jurassic?
93.
93. Okay. So it was not Jurassic Park. There was a VHS tape that's something we had, and every time I popped it in, the first trailer would show up would be Bram Stoker's Dracula. Horrified me as a child.
Weird. A lot of people don't like that movie. I really like it. It's got my girl, Winona Ryder. It's
Yeah.
got Keanu. It's got Tom Waits. Dude,
And Gary Oldman.
yeah, no, it's great. I like it, but it's got a really hard fantasy edge to it that
Yeah.
might lose you.
Well, I don't know. I think I should give it. I mean, look, I made it through this. Okay. Kenneth Branagh is an interesting guy. I think Kenneth Branagh is, he holds himself in high esteem. I mean, he's done a lot, but like Kenneth Branagh is like never on that list of like, people you think of when you think of, wildly talented actors and directors and screenwriters and then there's Kenneth Branagh. And I don't know why. It's not that there's a lack of talent there. I like him, but it's also, boy, does he really like what he's doing. You always get a sense of that. And man, some of the scenes in here, when he is creating the monster, the creature, I have to show you that scene because the art direction of this and the camera movement, there are times where I'm like, did Joel Schumacher come in for a day and help out? Because boy, does this look a lot like Batman and Robin.
Oh,
weird. You get some of that vibe, and especially in the third act where where Robert De Niro, who plays the creature, tells Kenneth Branagh, "Meet me at the Sea of Ice," which is a giant iceberg. Apparently, there's a interesting tunnel and cave system in this particular iceberg that looks like a slide at some sort of children's amusement park. Having said all this, I didn't hate this. I really did not. This thing is a grand, sweeping, gothic epic that is mildly preposterous, if not entertaining. The runtime's 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Ooh.
I was not bored really with this.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
I really like the opening. The opening is what are we, 17th century, I believe. So 1600s. And so we've got some people, they're on a ship and they're sailing. And guess what? They land on an iceberg. And then they get off the iceberg. They're cold. They're trying to tear down the ship to build some wood, to get some wood to make a fire. And then here comes Kenneth Branagh. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, he's coming. And then they let the dogs loose. He's like, they're already dead. And then they try to chase the dogs. He's like, they're already dead. And then he's explaining the story. And then we go back in time. And then we go back to that. So essentially, now Kenneth Branagh plays Victor Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein is a brilliant doctor. Victor Frankenstein is, he comes from a very wealthy family, and he has to succeed in life. His whole life has been put on a pedestal. He's been given the silver spoon, but there's opportunity, and he's got to go chase that opportunity. So he's going to go be a brilliant doctor. So he goes to medical school, and then he's in medical school. And again, I really like how this looks. Visually, it's striking. Slightly outdated here with some of the set design, but I don't know. I think there's a lot to like here. He meets John Cleese at medical school. Now, I will tell you, as we all know, John Cleese is from the comedy troupe Monty Python. I kept looking at this guy in this film, and I kept thinking, boy, does he look a lot like John Cleese. But where did those teeth come from?
Oh, no.
And it was John Cleese, but they did something very strange to his mouth. Not only his teeth, but his mouth. And also they gave him some cool hair. He looks like Ron White.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And basically John Cleese is doing the same type of thing that Victor Frankenstein is interested in, and that is bringing people back to life, because Victor Frankenstein lost his mother, and he's like, why does this have to be? Why does she have to die? I'm going to cure death.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to medical school, and they're like, don't bring that hokum in here, son. And then he meets John Cleese, and is like, I've been working on this as well. You mustn't tell anything. Cut to John Cleese is dead. So then he tries to bring John Cleese back to life, and then he takes John Cleese's brain, and he takes a bunch of bits and bobs from other people, and then he creates Robert De Niro. And then Robert De Niro escapes, and Robert De Niro learns how to read and write on his own, and he speaks, and next thing you know, Robert De Niro is a Rhodes Scholar, running around looking like, literally, I say people look like a catcher's mitt. I mean, he's got the seams. It really does look like a catcher's mitt here.
He's running around, hiding under cars. I love it.
But the scene where he's creating the creature is just insane because Victor Brana is shirtless. He is oiled up. He's soaking wet. Again, looks like he should be in a Joel Schumacher film because he's soaking wet and shirtless, running around, pulling on chains. I mean, you could take that scene, put in some Paul Oakenfold, and have
Cool.
yourself a raving old time. De Niro's strange in this. I don't even know if it's his fault. Because the way that he portrays Frankenstein is that he gave Frankenstein a good brain. So Frankenstein is highly intelligent. But basically he turns into Michael Myers in this. And he comes back and he wants to inflict pain on Kenneth Branagh. And I'll tell you, there was one scene that really shocked me. I did not see that coming. And guess what? Clerk, you spoil everything. I won't spoil it.
Oh, I should have put that in our
Guess
apology
what?
thing.
Wrong. This movie's 30 years old. I'm going to spoil it. He rips out Helena Bonham Carter's heart, who plays his wife. They just got married. It's their wedding night. Frankenstein's creature shows up, rips out her heart. It's beating in his hand, and he goes, I always keep my promises. And he jumps out of the window. That's cool. That got another star.
Oh, tight.
Look, the Rotten Tomatoes thing on this is very low. It's like 35%. It's not that bad, man. This is okay.
No, looking at Rotten Tomatoes for films that came out prior to Rotten Tomatoes is weird because people reviewing them have an agenda. They're going after it.
I don't think this did very well, but I mean, honestly, it's not terrible.
Well, neither did Bram Stoker. Like, people don't love that Dracula take. Like, most people like rip on it
Is
now.
it Stoker?
Stoker, I don't know.
There we go. Correction number 94.
Also, so we can get Clark a little love. We should apologize for having duped everyone. I think we're up to 5 people who have reached out to me. And first, why are you reaching out to me? You reach out to me to complain that we spoiled Scream 5. Now, I realized we did a Scream episode and we didn't spoil anything. All the complaints have said I skipped the Scream episode because I knew y'all would spoil it. So I just went ahead and listened to Adam. In the Adam episode, now I'm going to defend Clark a little bit. We didn't completely spoil it. There was a spoiler, but I do feel like it was kind of a dirty trick we pulled. We didn't address it. I'll apologize for that. But also, why the fuck are you complaining to me? I didn't spoil it. DM Clark.
Also, it was in the description.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Man, who reads those?
Talked
Okay.
about Scream.
Here's my defense. I don't care about you. I don't care about your thoughts. I don't care about your actions. What we do on this show is what we do on this show. And then we release it, and then it goes away. And I don't really think about the consequences because I don't have to. I do what I want to, which is what I'm doing right now. Number 2, we didn't spoil anything. I did what I always do. I always say, well, he's dead now. That's a go-to classic Clark Little bit. However you want to, whatever context you want to put that in, friend, that is on you. That is not on me. Number 3, we were not going to talk about Scream. We did a very good job of not spoiling Scream, despite me not caring. This 100%, if you want to put blame somewhere, you put this on the scumbag that is known as Adam Stillwell.
Yeah, I support Clark.
He should take your hate. He should take your frustration.
Yeah, so we'll be doxing him in the show notes for this episode, so you can contact him via email and phone number. So complain to him.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Break his bird bones.
The floor is now closed. All right, and then we also saw one Sundance. Now I'll tell you, I mean, sure, I was interested in several films that were showing at Sundance. Is it over? We still got time? What's going on?
I think it's
It's
done.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Sundance, we hardly knew ye, but what we did know of you, we've got a couple of things to talk about. Number one, your web design is terrible.
Yeah, awful. Fuck. It was terrible.
What is that?
It was.
It made my eyes bleed.
Yeah, I felt like
It looks like I was looking at a fax machine.
in 1997.
Yeah. Awful.
But I did learn a lot about the Native American tribes that lived in the land prior.
God.
Now that was it felt like such a hollow statement that I
Yeah, man.
don't even want to go further with it. But that's a trend, so get used to it.
Look, man, I'm all for, if you want to do recognition of tribes, that's fine. But let me tell you something. A bullshitter knows a
I
bullshitter.
know.
And that was bullshit, friend. So get out of here with that empty crap.
It was eat your vegetables
My
before
God.
dessert.
God, it
Yeah.
was such pandering garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, we saw a film that we had talked about. Now, did we find this trailer by accident?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show the week prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this all happened after we talked to the aforementioned scumbag Adam Stillwell and his fear of birds, because he is a small child, and he's just he's very infantile and he's scared of things that are not threatening, like birds. So we actually came across Hatching as a trailer. And we were like, this looks interesting. And then Rady's like, oh, it's playing Sundance. So we got a ticket and we watched Hatching.
Wait, can I stop you there? Because when we watched the trailer, it looked like some ridiculous horror movie that we would love. And then it's also kind of got that like A24 feel where they're taking it like serious when they wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
And it was foreign and it was Sundance. Which of those is the reason Randy watched this movie? Because it was part of the Sundance catalog, because it was foreign, or it had that A24 like shine to it?
I honestly only watched it because you guys mentioned it and said that it looked cool, because I did see it in the Sundance lineup while I was looking for things that I might want to see. Is like, I don't know, the picture looks kind of cool, descriptions, whatever, but I don't know. You guys mentioned that you saw the trailer and it's like, all right,
No,
let's go.
Ray is a team player.
He's bullshitting right
no,
now.
No, 100%. Now, I disagree with you. I don't necessarily think this has an A24 shine to it.
Yeah.
I think if A24 got this, they'd recut it.
I mostly mean in the way of it's edited. Like it's slow paced and kind of given a
This
series.
feels more IFC Midnight to me.
I think they picked it up. Right? Did they? No, I'm tripping. I'm thinking of Resurrection.
No, I think IFC has it.
Okay.
Because it already had a release date when we watched the trailer.
Well, I mean, they did House That Jack Built, which is kind of. Yes, you're right. I think you're correct.
This seems
Yeah.
like an IFC Midnight to me.
Yeah, I withdraw that.
Okay. Where do we want to start with this?
The trailer was bonkers. It showed a girl find an egg and put it under a giant bear she had,
and it kept growing.
And the egg kept growing until it hatched. And honestly, there was an intro here too at Sundance where the director kind of gave like a light spoiler.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you look at anything, there's that kind of spoiler. So this movie's not going to be out for probably another year. Or actually, if it's IFC Midnight, it might be out pretty soon.
The end of April.
Well, there you go.
We deal with doppelganger themes here. And I think that's a fun jumping off point. It's just the character study that is this weird, kind of like Yorgos Lanthimos family. I was getting Dogtooth vibes throughout this movie. I wish it was more Dogtooth, but
yeah,
it was like a little bit more campy.
Yeah, there was some camp.
There's a lot.
There's some camp. This is a strange film.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy this, but to borrow from one of the starlets that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, Lucille Ball.
Ooh.
They got some splaining to do.
Oh my god!
Because, okay, all right. Do we want to? Let's avoid spoilers. The film's not out. I understand that. We won't do that. I will say I was confused by the third act. and the finale.
Really? I don't
Mhm.
know. It seemed pretty concise. It just the thing I really liked about this movie is the interesting application of character tropes. Like there's a moment in this movie where a male figure seems to intrude in the nuclear system, and he ends up being the coolest character in the
He's
damn movie.
the coolest.
And it's really a conflict you end up with because you're kind of like, oh, this family's gonna ruin his life.
Yeah.
When traditionally he would be the homewrecker.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand the third act, because I don't know the journey that we went on here.
Yeah, it's worth watching for sure. Also, you had a lot of complaints about the wallpaper in this movie.
Now, as you said, visually from in a film,
Yeah,
it pops.
that's great.
I like it.
Mhm.
If that was my house, I would burn it to the ground.
Well, it actually is kind of addressing the lamest part of this movie, which is like social media people.
I'm pro wallpaper. I want this to be on the record.
Yeah,
That wallpaper was terrible.
we're doing a like a comparison between families here, and the family that our protagonist is a part of is very shallow and hollow, and they operate like a family, but they never act like it. There's no emotional support. The like the wallpaper and all of the furnishing is just kind of like, it's like icing on the cake, but I don't know, you kind of get it, which is why I appreciate that we spend a lot of time in the gym with gymnastics, which I thought was like, I love it
Yeah.
when a movie kind of like shows me a world I would never have looked into. And they don't do much with the gymnast thing, but it is really interesting.
When I was in college,
Oh, you were a gymnast?
when I was in college, of course, I majored in broadcast journalism. So one of my assignments was that my professor, she got real cute, okay, because it was basically doing sports. We had a sports program. It was a, what's it called?
PE?
No,
Give me something.
like a network that's not really a network on a television, public access.
Okay, public access.
Yes,
There you go.
boy, it's a
I'm
rough
like,
day.
what?
So we had a public access news show, and we would treat that, but we would record it like it was live. It
Uh-huh.
was not live, but we wanted to treat it as such. But I had to do a segment.
I've seen one of them.
Yeah, me too.
Did that one make air? I don't think that
I
one.
think you
made
can
air.
find it on YouTube, right?
That one did not make air because, again,
Audio issues.
oh yeah, it was terrible. Because I had to be a one-man band that day, so I had to do everything, and I did not do everything well. Anyway, she gave the fishing segment to the girl, and she gave the 4-year-old to 11-year-old gymnast segment to moi.
Oh, is that
So
is
I
that
had-
around?
I had to go.
Dude, I would love to watch
You know what?
that.
If you've got a FireWire hookup, then
I think I do.
then maybe we could get it
Oh,
because
dude.
it should be on my memory. I've got a drive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm really interested in this story.
I've probably got some weird stuff on that drive.
Dude, we should use it for something.
All right.
So are you interviewing 4-year-olds in this thing? Or are you just filming them like
I
a
don't.
fucking...
I remembered. I interviewed a very cantankerous Russian gymnast coach
Okay, that checks out.
and a very cold Eastern Bloc woman. Yeah, I did not like that. I didn't like doing it. It made me very uncomfortable. And
Were you
I
getting
remember my professor. She said, "Why is everything filmed so far away?" I said, "I didn't want to go. That was uncomfortable."
What a weird critique. Were you doing like long shots the whole time? Dude, what the fuck?
I was a terrible journalist.
You're doing some like TD Cut Folly shit where you're hiding
Oh,
in the
man.
corner of the room.
So I say all that to say I'm very familiar with gym culture.
Okay.
So I was in my home during this film. I don't know, man. The more we talk about it, the more I like it. And it's not that I didn't like it. It's just when we got to the end, I was just confused.
Yeah, which I guess is confused about.
And again, I saw it coming to a certain extent because it's to one part of it. But then when there was a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well, I think
it's a child.
here, one of what, I should have
It's a child.
I should have a stinger for it. Where again, themes of
Oh, is
doppelgangers
this?
and mirrors.
Oh, is this about
It's about like
Randy? Do we have a thing where you can bleep what I'm about to say?
what
Yeah, I could do it in post.
Because this could be a spoiler territory, and I feel bad for spoiling an unreleased film.
Yeah, I could do it after. I don't have it now.
Okay, I'm gonna say one sentence, and I want you to bleep it out.
All right.
Here we go. Is this about?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't think
don't
that's a
think so.
spoiler. Leave that in.
That would make sense.
I don't think so.
I mean, it is literally a thing that comes up in that movie, but it's a misdiagnosed moment, if you remember. It is kind of about like distance between.
I know, but I still think it is because she's of that age.
Well, evolving women and just like a girl to like. I think all those themes are in here.
We have a metamorphosis to a certain extent.
Well, also remember that mom's a vlogger who has a very shallow, her most important thing about her whole life is her appearance, like how she looks on the outside. And her daughter is trying to live up to that.
The daughter's great.
Yeah.
She's really good. I want to be very clear. The mom is banging.
Okay.
Y'all was hating on my girl.
Saw that
I didn't
coming.
like her. I didn't like
I
her.
like the mom.
No.
He
She was
likes
hot.
it controlling bitch, I guess.
Oh,
She was hot.
Makes sense.
yeah, she was mean. I thought you would be rooting for the dad who plays guitar while.
Oh, are we talking about European Tom Arnold?
Were you? I'm curious the index of words you were flipping through up there that you decided you shouldn't say.
Well, because I couldn't remember what country we were in, so then
Okay.
I just went to European.
I thought you were going to call him like King Cuck or something, and like,
He's a cuckold.
oh yeah, yeah. There's some life goals there.
God, that guy. But I mean, the cucker, he was a cool guy.
Cuckadoodle
man.
dude, man. And so mom's a vlogger, dad's a fucking sad sap. The thing is, I don't know if he was unhappy with his position. The son, though,
Oh my God.
the little boy.
I don't know if I have hated a child actor more outside of all the kids in Home Team. It's been a rough week for kids in film for me this week.
Well, Randy, what did you think about it?
I dug it for the most part. I liked the effects in the movie for the
Yeah.
most part, which I don't know if you watched the Q&A afterwards, but a lot of it was practical.
No, we watched the QAnon.
We went through it on, dude. Yeah, again, the thing we're tiptoeing around here is the egg and when it hatches, like what happens there. I will say, I didn't expect something so horrific to come out of it originally,
That's like
Yeah, same.
gnarly looking.
and
Mhm.
it incredible. I thought it was very cool.
yeah, and
So-
also we see a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt the film. Normally when you have a monster on camera up close like that a lot, you start to lose effect. This one was grotesque. I don't know, this one's a trip. I'm going to buy it when it comes
I
out.
liked it.
Yeah.
I think I'll bump it up.
It's weird enough to be interesting, but I can't say I loved it. But yeah, I mean, I dug it for the most part. I really actually dug the wallpaper. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have it in my room either, but I thought it looked cool in this movie. And I don't know, I like the stuff that was shot more in like low lighting. Some of the like really bright footage looked kind of like it was shot on an iPhone. Speaking of the other movie I watched this week, but yeah, I mean, it was decent.
One thing, again, this might be a light spoiler. It's really just a trope of horror cinema that I think they did a really good job of playing with here. This movie gives off like kind of like a false slasher vibe to it. And you keep expecting this creature to act kind of like a werewolf or like, murder all the antagonists surrounding our lead. And this movie does a great job of everybody who you want to die, they don't. And it is such an interesting conversation to have with the audience where, in horror films, you kind of end up rooting. It's like, oh, these teens are fucking, or like this guy's smoking toad venom, kill him. And it's like, when it doesn't happen and we're kind of like stuck with our nuclear family, I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of stuff to like think about with this film. Again, I do love how you branded it as an IFC midnight movie, though. I think I'm going to stick with that, where it's like
Yeah.
A24 or IFC, because IFC is just a little bit lowbrow. Like like those movies just couldn't be A24.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I kind of like that area.
Yeah. No, I'm with you too.
Yeah. Like,
I've enjoyed many IFC midnight film.
yeah, you kind of roll the dice with IFC midnight,
Yeah.
but with A24,
There's a edginess or crustiness to it where you.
Also, you totally.
What's wrong
rolled-
with crust?
what?
I mean, crusty and crust are different
Wrong.
visuals.
Dude, Randy's a crust punk, so he gets it.
Gosh.
So you absolutely roll the dice with A24 movies too.
Yeah, but it's different. A24, you kind of know what you're walking into.
Mm.
I mean, it,
To an extent,
Yeah.
A24 hasn't hit their brand on every film.
no, they haven't.
Because the thing is like there are way more A24 films than you realize.
That's fair. We do mostly focus on horror adjacent.
yeah, and
film.
the the very tentative title of elevated horror.
Yeah. Yeah, like Stream 5 was shooting at A24, even though they used Babadook as the sacrificial lamb there, but
Also, the wallpaper in this movie, it felt just like a hollow way to have something on the wall because it's very busy, but they don't have any like family photos from what I remember.
well, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Because they're European.
Well, also, we're doing a Malignant here where they're living in a dollhouse. It's kind of like, for looks, and it's not really operational.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Which is not very European.
Is it not?
No, they're very operational.
Well, especially Scandinavian. I imagine they're all
What,
like,
what country are we in?
well, Finland, I believe.
Oh, the Finnish
yeah,
are
yeah.
very. Oh, yeah, that's right. How could I forget? Because at the beginning of this film, I talked a lot about the Finns. Finns are interesting folks.
Oh, yeah.
We had 2 Finnish Formula One drivers.
Oh, my God.
we only have one now. They're a different bunch, man. They are a different bunch.
Do they look like they're inbred?
I like the Finns.
But they have like magical
they do have
abilities?
they do have tiny little beady eyes,
Oh, I like that.
and they're both very cold and very funny. But you could not be more deadpan than the Finns.
Yeah.
The Finns are very cold people.
I mostly only know Finland through their music. Through like fucking terrible music. I mean,
Yeah.
like Lordy or like 69 Eyes or Fintroll. Like
Fintroll.
Yeah, folk metal.
I don't know.
a lot of power metal too.
You know,
mess with Finland.
I read the meanest review about Fintroll, who's kind of like they're a cool band, but somebody, oh God, I can't remember the blog. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They mentioned how there was no mosh pit at Fintroll, but there was a sort of pseudo rave happening in the middle of the floor, occupied by a bunch of people who dug out their Hot Topic Dr. Seuss hats.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you could imagine being at that fucking show. Do you remember when that was a thing? Oh my, no, you didn't own one. Don't you fucking say it.
I definitely had one.
No, you didn't.
Like a top
This is
hat?
a bit. I don't believe it.
I don't know what hat.
The Dr. Seuss, like the really big cat in the hat.
Yeah.
Oksana might have owned one. She was a Hot Topic goth through and through.
I had
I've never. I don't even know what hat.
I had
Oksana smoked cloves, okay? So
You smoked
You're
cloves,
stupid.
dude?
that's the
Oh.
most goth thing you could do.
Oh
She also
my
drank
God.
coffee all the time.
I still drink coffee all the time.
And
You
smoked
drink
cloves.
coffee all the time.
Yeah.
Well, David Lynch fucking talks about it every day. What do you want me to do?
I had a cat in the hat.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't know.
No, you did. I refuse to believe
Russell,
this.
let me explain. It was not red and white. It was black and gold because it was
Why did you own it?
because of my collegiate alliance. I would wear it to sporting events.
Oh, I fucking hate you. Really?
Yeah.
What was the rest of the attire?
Just the same color scheme.
Oh, like a bathrobe? You're like, yeah, Flash people run
No, I
around like.
had it. Yeah, I had the
Oh
cat in
my
the hat.
Like the
God.
literal cat in the hat, like the red and white stripe thing.
No, he just
Yes.
said it was black and gold.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
Oh my God. Really?
100%.
Do you still have it?
Somewhere.
Oh my God.
Somewhere.
I am of all the fedoras and shit you owned.
I
That's the
also-
only thing I'm
I
depressed about.
had that hat. I had a hat that was It was latex. It was a latex eagle head. That was cool.
I understand that.
I had a giant. Do you remember in Dumb and Dumber where they had the giant cowboy hat?
Yeah.
I had one of those.
I get that.
I had a lot of hats. I had a Jamaican.
Oh, with the
Rastafarian
with the dreads.
With the dreads, I had
Right.
one of those. I had a hat that was a hamburger.
Hamburger.
I had an afro wig.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Yeah, but I put a visor in it, so that way it looked cool.
Oh my god.
Had a lot of hats, man.
Did you have a Jimmy hat?
Condom?
Never had a need.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, hatching. Hat is in the title. This is like one of those 23 moments, dude.
Yeah, hatching. Randy gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, that and Licorice Pizza, the only 2 5 stars he's ever given.
That's a good double feature, dude. All right, RJ.
Okay, I mean, we went so long on that. You want me to do one, or what do I
All
have?
right, well, give us a choice. Let's split the baby.
I'll be quick.
That's
No, it'll be quick. Last night, we had one of our many film fest meetings because we're in the thick of it now. Get ready for that because we're going to start announcing stuff, and I'm excited about it. So Unnamed Footage Festival 5 is around the corner. And we had Jasadi over, who we've mentioned 3 times now in this episode. And I did the thing I love, where I have somebody who loves film, and I'm like, me too. I own a bunch. Let's watch one. And then we spend an hour trying to fucking pick a movie. We whittled it down to 3 films. One, Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I've never seen. 2, Personal Shopper.
Is that Peter Weir?
Yeah. Some exploitation. Personal Shopper, which I've never seen, even though I love K-Stew, and I know you guys yelled at me forever to watch it.
It's good texting scenes.
And the movie we watched, which is a debut film of Errol Morris called Gates to Heaven, about a pet cemetery in California. Now, when we were hanging out with our bro, my current man crush, Jorge Torres, and we were drinking, he told the story about how Werner Herzog would eat his shoe if Errol Morris would make a film. Just get out and do it. And I was like, dude, we talked about this with Jorge. Maybe we should just throw it on. Because even though I've bought 3 copies of the Criterion release, I'd never seen the movie.
Why do you have 3 copies?
Because I just kept buying it. Before we had the app that kept track of everything we owned, I just kept thinking, oh, fuck, I got to get to Heaven. And also, it's a double feature with Vernon, Florida. So it's like, oh, you have to own that.
Superior film.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're a powerful double feature.
Vernon, Florida.
I think Gates of Heaven is a more clear work, where Vernon, Florida is kind of demanding for people who don't understand, like,
which makes it better because it doesn't spoon feed to the dummies.
No, now you've never seen Gates of Heaven, right?
Don't need to.
Dude, you'd love it.
Okay.
You would love it. Gates of Heaven is a film about a pet cemetery up in Northern California. And without getting too deep into the weeds, what the conclusion I came to is that it's pretty much it's kind of a beautiful articulation of of all the different spirits a business can hold. And it's kind of like, you can have like a very virtuous business that's made for a community.
Like Halloween?
And yeah, like Halloween. And no, here's the thing. So with the pet cemetery, originally, the character we're talking to, he's doing it just out of pure love. And he talks about how when your community has a need, you should try and fulfill it. And that's really what humans should be doing. And he's like, there's a lot of people who have pets that they love, and we shouldn't be like sending them to a rendering plant. Cut to the rendering plant. And here's where we get our first contrast. We get a homegrown business where it's love that's really the motivator. And then we get a secret rendering plant who even the owner talks about how he doesn't really tell people. Like, it can ruin a dinner party when he mentions where he works.
Yeah. And
he often mentions that how you don't even smell it unless you really get in the building. And again, a rendering plant is where you send animals to be taken apart and used for things like glue. Anyway, he tells a story about how they have a contract with the zoo that they never talk about because the zoo doesn't really like it.
Oh boy.
And when an elephant died, they'd put out a fake news article saying like, oh yeah, the elephant's gone, we got rid of him. And he's like, they didn't get rid of him, we went over there and got a forklift and picked him up. He's like, we had the elephant back here, we rendered that damn thing. He's like, how crazy is that? We have a secret. And he's just like, the whole motivation here is that he's got an effective business.
What do you do with the elephant?
You boil it down and you take the bones and you turn it into paste. And
The article they put out said, no, yeah, he's buried in the pet cemetery.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, the elephant's right over here. And he's like, he ain't over there, we put him in the vat. And like, he's such a lively, weird character. And he's not a bad guy, but he's totally of a business mindset.
Sure.
Now, the other dude who, his story, I'll ruin this for you, ends with bankruptcy, because even though he's got a lot of heart, he doesn't care about like trying to run a business. And the people who fund him love him because, you know, he's a very lonely dude in a wheelchair. And that's another theme with this movie. Pet owners and why people own pets. And when all you have is your dog and the dog dies, what you turn into. Oh man, it's a heavy movie. The third act, we pivot into a family who's kind of a perfect blend of, we do this for grieving people, but we also run a fucking business. And this is a good film. It's really good. After we finished it on the Blu-ray that Criterion put out, they also have the short film where Werner Herzog eats his shoe.
Yes.
Which is incredible. He did it up in Berkeley. They screened the film and then he wheeled it out.
Was Klaus there?
No. And dude, Werner, man, he's the fucking filmmaker I love. He got on stage and called that room a bunch of cowards. He said, you know why I'm eating my shoe? He's like, you know why I'm eating the shoe the day I was talking to him that I was wearing? Do you know why I wore these shoes here? And he's like, because I made a promise to somebody and he came through, and I respect people who aren't cowards. And he's like, how many people in this room want to make a movie, but you're not? He's like, change it. And when you do something like that, I need to follow through. So, dude, that shoe, they put garlic cloves in it and they boiled it. They put it in a big vat, and they had a chef there they poured like seal fat on it or something.
It was duck fat.
Duck fat
to soften it.
Seal fat? Seal fat?
Seals have a lot of fat.
My God. We have to babysit you at all times.
See, I'm riffing here. And
seal fat.
Yeah, he's my favorite singer. Anyway, they softened the leather, and oh my God, it does not help.
Worked.
No, and when he pulled it out, it looked like a fucking carcass. It was so gross. And he's unwavering. We got a young Herzog here too. It's so incredible. I highly recommend y'all seek out that short film. And yeah, Gates of Heaven was great. And then we went to the Roxy on Monday to partake in our former guest, Jake Eisgard, the new program director at the Alamo SF, who is still doing Transmission. The man is fucking crazy. Transmissions, which is a monthly program now. And he was showing an Altman film, Three Women. Now, man, we were fucking tired. And I was like, honestly, we only went to support Jake. I expected nothing out of the movie. I knew it was 2 hours long, and it started post 9 p.m.
on a school night.
I was a little worried. I'm not going to lie. I came equipped with a coffee. I bought a coffee, and I was like, all right, Robert Altman, former program director at the Alamo, Mike Keegan, his favorite director. And Mike wouldn't normally get energized talking about filmmakers, and he would never get energized the way he talked about Robert Altman. So I'm like, all right, perfect storm. Also, this is an Altman film. The synopsis is two roommates, physical therapist, one a vain woman and the other awkward teenager, share an incredibly bizarre relationship. That's got Randy written all over it. So when Randy texted and said, hey, this movie's great, I was like, all right, I got to do it. The problem with these kind of films, when they're not like steeped in genre, it's kind of hard to like prime yourself for what you're about to get into. So when Randy chimed in, I'm like, okay, we'll probably get long shots. Well-paced film. But when you got Shelley Duvall and Sissy Spacek as the two leads, I'm like, that's enough for me. They're both genre stars, and the wife from The Shining and the little girl from Carrie, teaming up to do a weird, surreal kind of like girls living together story. Man, What a fucking great movie. And I couldn't shut up about it. This also, again, at the Roxy, we watched Wake and Fright, the Australian film about killing kangaroos and drinking beer. That movie, I felt possessed by the film, and I had to drink many a beer to partake in that movie. This one did it to me too. There's a lot of scenes where they're hanging out at a bar and they just like, it's great because Shelley Duvall, who plays Millie, she does a thing that I read in like a fashion, don't ask why, in a fashion magazine where there's like female etiquette. And it was like, you should never finish your drink. When you go to a bar, it doesn't matter if people buy it or you buy it, you never finish your drink. And it's kind of like a power exchange. It's etiquette. And she does all those like little nuances throughout the film. This is a fucking great movie. Again, post 9 p.m., 2 hours long, never even got a heavy eyelid. I think Oksana fell asleep briefly.
I didn't fall asleep, but I yawned because there's a lot of very like cozy sleep scenes.
Sleep is a theme in this movie. Also, so
Schlaf.
is duality, female relationships. There's this beautiful moment where they work with a pair of twins, and everybody's mean to the twins. You don't know why, dude. And Pinky Rose, played by Sissy, she asked the question of Shelley because she's kind of like this annoying little sister at this point in the movie, and she's like, "Do you think twins ever wake up and don't know which one they are?" And then Shelley Duvall's like, "What? What the hell are you talking about?" She's like, "Or do they ever trade? Do you think like they just trade and like one will be the other?" And it's this really childish question that gives a beautiful insight into what we're doing in this movie. There's a moment where our two leads role swap, and it's almost like you don't know until it's already been like 20 minutes. And it's such a like profound moment. Dude, I fucking love this movie. Also, there's a character you would love, Clark. He works at kind of a rundown bar that looks like it's a theme park for a Western that never was.
Ooh.
And
Kind of like the Fries in Palo Alto.
yeah,
R.I.P.
dude, kind of like that if it was a bar, not R.I.P. Yeah, don't talk about that. Damn it, man. I'm sad we lost Fries.
Yeah.
I can't get, although their Blu-ray section turned to shit anyway. But their porn section never hurt. You can fucking get porn for whatever. The guy that runs the bar shows up, and Shelley's talking about me. It's like, yeah, he used to be in the show Wyatt Earp. He was a stuntman for Wyatt Earp. So he comes out, he walks right out of like a Tarantino film. Like, this is a perfect movie for Tarantino to borrow from. He comes out, starts doing gun tricks because he's got a gun on a holster. Clark, you would love this motherfucker.
Look, it's a shame I haven't seen this.
Dude.
I'm a Altman fan. You know, Nashville's one of my favorite films of all time.
He straight up goes, "Ladies, watch out, there's a rattlesnake." And they're like, what? And he walks over and lifts this like fake boulder, and there's like a fake snake under it. I'm like, oh, Clark would have fucking love this. And then, we get a lot of Randy stuff. The other woman, if you're wondering, this is called Three Women, is a kind of ignored housewife who is married to the Wyatt Earp stuntman. And she just paints these crazy, kind of like reptilian people at the bottom of pools. And there's a lot of duality here. We got an empty pool and a full pool. One's in a desert, one's in a hotel. This is a beautiful movie with a lot to chew on. Randy, what would you give it out of 5 stars?
2.
I think he's like a 4.5.
Probably. It's a good question. I haven't seen this for years. It was one of the like pretty early like Criterion movies I got, so I haven't seen it for a really long time. But yeah, I do remember it being very like kind of hypnotic and just surreal in a way that isn't like Lynch surreal. I know I say that a lot, but yeah.
No, that's perfect because it's very smooth. And when things are changing, you almost don't know until they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, dude, it's incredible. Also, when I started the whole like Overlook thing, this is exactly the type of movie I would avoid because you're hearing me ramble on about it. I'm sure there are brilliant people who have done deep explorations of this film and have a lot more to say. But I do think even if you're kind of like a light genre fan or like, you only really like horror, there's something here for you. If you can fuck with like Repulsion or like early Polanski stuff, definitely check this one out and don't be scared of the runtime because this movie it flies by. Yeah, it's incredible. I honestly, if there's a good release of this, we should probably buy it. Now I've seen 2 Robert Altman films, 3 Women and
Nice.
Ocean Stigs.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit.
Again, Mike Keegan showed that on, I think it was a
That's
print
right.
at the Alamo. So, dude, I'm an alt head now.
We gotta get you to watch Nashville, man.
The title makes me bored.
No, Nashville's great.
I believe you. And at the,
My favorite ending in any film.
you
Mhm.
want to go ahead and spoil it right now?
It's great.
Then I can get all these complaints about, dude, Clark spoiled Nashville.
Well, the song. They sing a song at the end.
Oh, and we all know end credit music can ruin a movie for you.
No, well, it can.
What movie was it you were just talking about? Where you're like, the fucking end credits.
Oh, Boiling Point.
Boiling Point. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't make the top 5, dude. That was terrible.
Anyway, Jake, you're doing God's work. As we continue to lose theaters out here, we really need to keep this culture alive.
Also, the Roxy's new seats are amazing.
I don't think they're in yet. Were those the new ones?
Yeah.
They're in, yeah.
They've been in.
Oh, I don't know. Part of the torture of the old seats out here in the theaters was always part of the appeal for me.
And the new bathrooms.
You're right. You know what? Because the Roxy used to have cup holders that anything you bought at the Roxy would slide right through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that's done that, right?
No.
Where you're like, oh, cool. And then you put it in, it just right to the floor. Yeah, it didn't happen. I should have noticed. Like, oh, new seat.
Couldn't put my phone in there.
I put my phone in mine.
Whoop.
It fell?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right. We got any plugs? We got anything? What we got? If you got some plugs, Randy, hit your little keyboard. Let's get a little net sounds going on, son.
We need to do a video component because Randy's face right there was too good.
We call that a shit-eating grin.
I don't know. Is there even plugs, or are we just playing keyboard for no reason?
I know it's cool. It's a nice.
Do we
movie.
need a reason, Randy?
I guess not. I can say that hopefully you will join us next week for the first big cinematic event of 2022, Jackass Forever.
/ Moonfall.
Also, the next Transmissions SF screening is The Scary of 61st at the end of February, and it's on 35.
Yeah, so if you're in the Bay Area, come out to
Nice.
that. I think it's a print, too.
It is 35 millimeter.
Oh, fuck. I'm excited for that.
Fancy boy.
We could read the Purge fan fiction there before.
All right. Anything else? Got any more?
No, again, this is not for the audience. This is for everybody in the room and in Atlanta. Found footage February. Keep it in mind. I know saying that will probably make Clark go hard the other direction,
Yeah.
but yeah, we owe it now.
All right. Before we cut you loose, Randy Michael, send us home.
That's it. My sign off was going to be Jackass Forever. So we'll see you next week when we cover Jackass Forever.